I probably could have held that for longer, but I didn't want to. Um, the trailer for the Mario movie came out today. It looks good. I'm kind of mad actually. I thought it was gonna be bad, and I was gonna have something to make fun of for a little while, but it looks good. I think it looks like I'll like it. Jack Black is doing a good job of, from what I can tell, he's doing a good job at doing a voice where it's not just Jack Black's voice, but it's also not like anyone could have done it. This is my favorite level in the game, by the way, just from an aesthetic standpoint of like beanstalk clouds above the world. I remember the beginning of Triple Deluxe, I was peeved because there's not a full. No! Ah! I didn't realize those just keep going, damn. I was peeved because there's not a full level. God! Uh, uh. Oop, I did a little burp. I was peeved that there's not a full beanstalk level, or I guess dreamstalk, because I love. There are some reoccurring like level motifs in games that I just will truly always love, and beanstalk cloud level will always be one of my favorites. Um, so this is a good level, and I like it. Um, so how about that Mario movie, eh? Um, it's funny. Bowser looks good. He looks good. He looks not exactly like how Bowser looks in the games, which I'm kind of in favor of. I don't want it to just look like a Mario Odyssey cutscene for an hour and a half. I want it to have sort of a at least vaguely unique art style. I like how Bowser looks. I like how I'm into the visuals of this movie. They've got me sold on that. Except for as soon as the Bowser scene ends, and then I don't like it anymore because I'm not huge on Toad's weird. He's got like weird creases on his face around his eyes and mouth that make him look like a. He doesn't look like Toad. He looks like a human man that came out wrong. Mario and Luigi sort of have same face, but yeah, I don't. It doesn't bother me as much as I've seen it bother some people. My main thing is just that Toad looks kind of uncanny. Uh, the environments look great. Bowser's like flying lava lake castle looks fantastic. It's like half Paper Mario, half every. It looks like a perfect culmination of every like Bowser final level, and I'm just really into it. I think not the game. Whoops. I think the movie looks good. That being said, Jack Black and Keegan Michael Key may be doing pretty good jobs as far as voices go. Oh man, okay. Hey, do you want to come like a little bit over here? Yeah. Um, Chris Pratt is doing a bad job. He's not a horrible voice actor, The Lego movie, he does like a good job. He's got like the little optimistic silly boy thing going on. But man, he is almost exactly just using his normal voice. There's like kind of a hint of a Brooklyn accent, but I don't know. I feel like there's two ways you can do a Mario voice. You can do like, or that's not. Oh, whoopsie daisy. Shoot. There's three ways you can do Mario's voice where I will like it. Number one, Bob Hoskins. Make him like a gruff, actual plumber. It doesn't necessarily fit his character, but it might be my favorite just for funny. I actually, maybe it's nostalgia from the Mario TV show, but I really like. I don't remember the name. I think Captain Lou Albano. That's it. I really like his. I'm really not paying attention. I really like his Mario voice. And I don't think that's fully just like childhood nostalgia. I think that a lot of that is I just like his voice. He doesn't sound as high-pitched, light-hearted fun as Charles Martinet, but he still has an innocence in the voice that I really like. Lou Albano played the physical version, actually. He did not play the cartoon Mario. It was two separate actors. Lou Albano's voice is like Bob Hoskins. It's funny, but he's not Mario. Whoever did the voice acting for the Super Mario Brothers Super Show, I think they did a pretty good job. But I don't actually know their name. It's not Lou Albano. Luigi also was good. Ooh, big spike ball. The point I'm making is that Chris Pratt doesn't do a very good job. He's not really doing anything. He's not being like especially expressive even. He's just kind of doing a voice. No, okay. Really not into it. I'm really not into it. But I think I'm gonna like the movie anyway because visually it looks very good. And like maybe I can just shut my brain off for an hour and a half and look at the pretty pictures. Jack Black Bowser is cool. I'd have sex with him. And oh, why did I really need to pay attention. I've always thought it was interesting how Kirby, like, takes less damage at lower health. Like, the adaptive damage thing is pretty neat. Chris Pratt's doing a bad job as Mario. He, like... And what's funny is I saw the French dub voice actor for Mario. And guess what, guys? He sounds like Mario. That guy speaking in heavily accented English would be better than Chris Pratt. A French accent, any accent. He's barely doing a Brooklyn accent, and I don't want necessarily a fish out of water Mario movie where he's from Brooklyn. We tried that once. It was bad. It was enjoyable, but it was bad. I love the original Mario Brothers movie, but it's a hot mess. And also, I'm just kind of sick of fish out of water stories and audience surrogates and all that. I just want to watch a movie set in a world where they don't have to spoon feed the world to me. I didn't like the first Sonic movie for that reason. Like, Sonic isn't the audience surrogate. It's kind of the opposite way around. But I'm tired of fish out of water stories. I especially don't want Mario fish out of water stories because I feel like Mario is a simple enough character that you don't really need to do anything with him. Charlie Day Luigi is gonna be fun. This is good. Climbing into the sky ruins. This is also my favorite track in the game. Nutty Noon is just a really good world. Very into it. Bop. That's how you do it. There we go. Oh, it's fun. Why? Ninja Kirby is good. But yeah, it feels weird to say that I'm legitimately excited for the Mario movie, but I am. And obviously it is a movie for children. There are some, like, I guess, people who are very unhappy in their personal lives who are acting like it's the death of art. And it's like, I don't think it's going to be a masterpiece, guys. It's going to be, like, fine. It's going to be a good video game movie for children. And I don't really think people who are, like, crazy excited for it or dreading it... Well, crazy excited is fine, but the people who are actively, like, dreading it and blah, 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 it looks horrible, why does... Ugh. It feels like just unnecessary negativity. A lot of things you could be negative about in the world and then do constructive things about it. But this is one of those things that you just can't do anything about, so why bother making a big deal out of it? Like, you can go couponing and donate canned goods to your local food pantry. You can fundraise for charities and mutual aid. There's a lot of things you can do about the real problems in the world, and nothing you can do about Chris Pratt playing a mediocre Mario. I see what I was supposed to do there. Okay, cool. I am currently about to finish up one of my D&D campaigns. It's been like a Wild West themed campaign. A lot of like themes of anti-capitalism, justice in a carceral society. And also just good cowboy stuff, train fights against bandits, vengeance, you know how it is. There we go, and one more, okay, cool. And it's about to end, and I'm excited and also a little sad because, that was a little bit of a small burp again. It doesn't happen until I start talking. You know, I sit and I wait for a while before I start recording to get all the little burpees out of my system. Doesn't happen. I don't fully know what the point of the this attack is. I guess the flashing would indicate there's some invincibility frames. I don't know. I forgot I could guard in this game, although they haven't implemented the dodge roll yet. Forgotten Lands dodge roll and like the counter stuff you can do is goated. Very fun boss fights in that game. A lot of them don't even have like super interesting moves or anything, and they don't need them because it's just a fun game. Even simple attacks are fun to dodge. The system in place is very fun. If you could hear how fast I am hitting the key, it wouldn't be that impressive. The Mario movie is maybe the first time I've ever actively hoped for... Oh, this is a classic Kirby puzzle. Don't hit the third one. Is maybe the first time I've ever actively hoped for a movie based on for a video game based on a movie based on a video game. Like, we all make fun of Street Fighter, the movie, the game, and I'm personally happy that, like, none of the Sonic movies have been given games. But given how accurate the, like, movie, from what we've seen, looks to the games, I kind of wouldn't mind seeing this interpretation of the Mario world and playing through it, I don't think. I mean, it looks cooler than... The Mushroom Kingdom in the Mario movie looks better than it did in Mario Odyssey, so... And this isn't me bashing Mario Odyssey. I know it was a callback to 64 and it was meant to be on the simpler side. But the detail in the poster and everything, I really like. It looks like a current-gen AAA Mario game, especially an RPG, in my opinion. Every time I see a big, bustling, populated city, my first thought is I want to talk to everyone in the city. But, yeah, I'd like to play a game set in that world. Looks like a cool interpretation of the Mushroom Kingdom. Maybe not even a RPG. Maybe just an action platformer. Let Mario punch. Make it one of those horrible, like, Knack or Pac-Man World 3 where there's a super unnecessary combat system. Those were the good old days of B-grade platformers. Give it, like, B-grade platformer combat, but this extremely cool world. Oh, I gotta get them all in one go? Okay. Well, hey now. Hey now. Hey now. Hey now. Hey now. That's a good song. I like Kirby's Big Hat. Oh, this is the big one, baby. Man, Flare Beam is easily my favorite super ability. Wait, how did that not... Fuck. I don't know why I threw it away. It was instinctual. Now I gotta go run and get it back. The Mario movie, I don't need a Mario RPG with, like, locales as detailed as in the movie. I would love a console Mario and Luigi game, though. I know that, Alpha Systems went bankrupt because Nintendo made them remake their games on a dying console. On a dying handheld, especially. But, Nintendo's not known for their good business practices. They're not a great company in general. But, I think it would be really cool if they just found all the developers from Alpha whatever, and, like, hired them and said, hey, make a console Mario and Luigi game. Because there's never been one of those, and I would sure like it, I think. As long as it was good and not like Paper Jam. Because Paper Jam was fine, you know, the mechanics were solid, the battles were fun, but it's maybe the least interesting Mario game aesthetically. It's just a combination of Sticker Star and New Super Mario Brothers. It's not... I'm not impressed, you know? So, a console Mario and Luigi game of the quality of, I mean, any of the other ones. Personally, my two favorites are, and this might be a controversial opinion, I love the original. I love Dream Team a lot. I know Dream Team, not a huge crowd favorite as far as I can tell, which I don't really get why. Yeah, it's a little bit more, there's like more dialogue and stuff, but it's still a good video game. The original, obviously, I don't think anyone has huge problems with the original Mario and Luigi, besides maybe that it's like a pretty easy game up until the very end and it kind of sideswipes you, but I'm fine with that. I think it would be good to get a console one. I like Dream Team. I like Dream Team from an aesthetic standpoint. I think it has a fine plot. I like seeing Bowser betray someone else, you know? Usually Bowser's the one getting possessed by people and tricked or whatever. It kicked me out? I gotta do the whole thing again? Oh, I don't like that very much. I'm not a fan of that, I don't think. Generally, I like checkpoints. That's unfortunate. Oh, this is pretty short. You know, at least it's not sending me back to the last checkpoint before I even did the Ultra Beam thing. Oh, I gotta book it. I gotta book it, Mario! That's how Luigi talked, right? In the Super Show? Right? I want to know what this dimension I'm in is. You know? Like, Kirby's got a lot of stuff about other dimensions, and I still feel like I don't actually know what they are. Cyberspace in Robobot kind of seemed like it was based on this dimension. Heroes in Another Dimension from Star Allies was obviously, oh shoot, based on this same background. But, like, what is this place? Does it have any connection to, like, Fecto Forgo Elphalus kind of stuff? Does it have no connection to them? Is it connected to the Ancients? Is it not? Kirby lore, I like it. I think it's neat that they put so much thought into, like, the lore and plot and history of Kirby. I always have thought that was, like, they didn't need to do that, and they did, and I appreciate it. But I want to know more. I know I'm overthinking it. I'm fully aware, but I still want to. I still want to know what's up. I'm also like a little bit sad they modeled the UFO and there's no UFO Kirby in this game. But that's also another nice touch. They didn't have to do that, but they did. I just want to play as UFO Kirby, you know? Alright, 4 gears. We're getting to this is where like the sun starts really setting, right? No, this is actually a level with a lot of high jump in it, if I remember correctly. I feel like this is a really good world because it has some of the most memorable levels. You know, a lot of levels in this game naturally sort of blend together, levels with the same level theme. You know, that's not bad. It's hard to make every level in a world stand out when they all have a similar theme. But I feel like every level, unfortunate, in this game has something about it. You know, the second one, there's the beanstalk level. It's like the pulling levers from the ceiling level. There's this one, which is like the only vertical level in the game. The next one where the sun starts going down. And then the standard fight every mini-boss level, which it wouldn't be a Kirby game without it. Unless it was one of the Kirby games before mini-bosses were a thing, or Kirby 64, where the mini-bosses are just regular enemies but big. Not that either of those are bad, but the level where you fight every enemy has always been one of my favorite Kirby game staples. I always loved that Kirby did that little bounce. Very cute. Alright, let's go. Ha! Give me more vertical platforming. Give me more vertical I got ahead of myself, and I'll admit it. That's on me. Oh my god, that wasn't on me. Could not have seen that guy just because I was doing. Whoa. That's another thing I really like about this game that other Kirby games don't do, is even when you're seeing the same enemies from other levels, they're reskinned, you know? The big mouth boys now have this this cloud skin that I'm being eaten by. The like Waddle Dees and most of the enemies that don't give you abilities have space like factory world Halcondra reskins. I always thought that that was like just another thing they didn't have to do, but they did, and I appreciate it. I wish I was better at Kirby games, or that's not even. I wish I could give a game my full focus and talk at the same time, because they don't tell you how hard it's going to be to talk and play video games. But let me tell you, it is difficult to talk and play video games. Not that, and like, I don't have to do this. My Lunacid videos routinely get 1 view, which is legitimately funny. I want to know which of my 40 subscribers is watching that, and I'd like to thank them. But I'm doing this for me. I don't have to be bad at video games and then record it. But it's fun, you know? I'm not complaining that I'm bad at the video game because I'm doing it because I enjoy it. I like playing video games. I like the minor validation of a video getting more than 10 views. So here I am. One day I would like to have a D&D YouTube channel, but I feel like I don't want to make one that's just me, you know? I would want like a co-host or something. And I briefly had a co-host friend, but sometimes life hits you. So I no longer have a is there one just hidden right here? Well, I don't know how I feel about that placement, but okay, game. Okay. Whoop. Never been a huge fan of Wing Kirby. Everyone loves it. It's very mobile, but I don't like how it's like almost too mobile. It's kind of unwieldy to use for me. Like I said, I'm bad at the video game. I'm not good at it. I try to go through the game too fast and get hit already, so an ability that goes as fast as this one is gonna backfire for me. But, I don't know. Never thought it was that fun. God, I love the gradual transition as you get higher. Whoop, 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 whoop. This is very akin to the, everyone's favorite Goomba shoe from Mario Brothers 3. The most inexplicable level design mechanic in any Mario game. Why does it only show up in one level? I don't know. I fully don't understand why it exists. Am I glad it does? Yes. But I don't get it. And this one is actually, not only is it actually incorporated into the level design, but it shows up multiple times. So here's my controversial opinion that it's better than the Goomba shoe. Which any Mario Brothers 3 YouTube review from, you know, the late 2000s, early 2010s is gonna mention the Goomba shoe. It's iconic. Mostly because I think everyone who played that game was baffled that it only showed up the one time, even though it was very fun to use. It was also interesting to have like a power-up that wasn't a power-up, like a proto-Yoshi. I will say, this is fun. Using this the way that I'm currently using it, that is fun. I feel like not every level is designed for it. And here we go, nighttime, baby. Passing of time. Alright, who am I fighting? Is it Mega Bonkers? Yes, it is. How dare you? Whoa, whoa! You know, perhaps my favorite thing about Forgotten Land, and one of the most minor things, is that Hammer finally has a regular enemy. The silly little monkeys who throw the little hammer. If there's one thing I love, it's a silly little monkey. I have a friend who's legitimately scared of, like, apes, like chimps and stuff, and he and I saw Nope together, which is a great movie, but also wasn't good for his brain to see the monkey scenes. By the way, everyone should watch Nope. It's a great film. It's maybe not as scary as his past movies, but I still really like it. Good movie, really good themes. The thing where, like, the theme of, like, people monetizing trauma combined with the theme of people who, God, I can't, there we go. It's so hard to start doing the motion controls in time because of my silly little keyboard that I'm playing this on. There we go. The themes of, like, anthropomorphizing animals and how that connects to the themes of the ways we seek out other people's trauma, and, like, there's, like, a weird idolatry for trauma and suffering in the United States and also just the whole world. And those two themes just work so well together. God, I really like Nope. Although, I would love to watch a movie that's just nice one of these days, you know? Nope was cool because it has, like, not necessarily a pretty pink bow. Did I miss an orb? I feel like I missed an orb. I must have missed an orb. How did I miss an orb? This is not a long level, which, you know, at least that means it'll be easier to replay in search of energy spheres. I really can't afford to just let myself get hit like this, because if I die at the boss, I have to do this whole bit all over again. But I'm just gonna keep running past stuff, you know? It's fun to... This is fun. I'm having fun. I promise. You know what else I would really like is a Kirby RPG. Where, like, instead of equipment, it's copy abilities, and you have different moves based on the one you're using, and also party members. That would be fun. Whee! Oh, I fell. The spear throwing is the most fun part of Spear Kirby, right? Are we all in agreement about that? I really like it. Alright, is this the last two of the level? Where did I miss an orb? Frustrated. I'm so frustrated that I'm missing collectibles in a Kirby game. I 100% completed... I've 100% completed so many games with obscure hidden collectibles without needing a guide. And this is the game that's really throwing me for a loop. No, I don't want this. I don't want a Knuckle Joe. Thank you very much. Alright, it's almost time for the mid-boss rush level. Boo! I really thought that at this point in the game, I would have gotten better at the bonus game. But no, I just kind of haven't. Unfortunate. Alright, mid-boss rush, mid-boss rush, mid-boss rush. Yes. Here we go, baby. A little nighttime sky level, very cute. Look at this cool tower. Anything up here? Maybe, perhaps, I could go in there. Wouldn't that be crazy? I don't need any of this. I didn't realize that would carry me forward as far as it did. And I paused when I meant to throw my ability away, but here's water. I don't actually know what going through that door did. Maybe just give me a nicer selection of items? I don't know. These are always the easiest levels for getting all the collectibles, which is nice. So if I miss anything, I'm going to dedicate myself fully to finishing my novel and not make any more D&D videos. These aren't D&D videos. Ugh. I'm not making any of those right now as it is. I would also love to start an actual play show. Damn it, again. There's so many out there, but there's very few where most or all... Man, this is the first time I've seen this guy. There's very few D&D shows where most or all of the cast members are queer. I know that in Dimension 20, Allie is trans mask, and Emily is bi. But I think that's, off the top of my head, that and obviously Transplanar are the only two I can really think of. Transplaner is good. I haven't gotten that far into it because I just have a lot of podcasts I'm listening to. I'm currently re-listening to the first campaign of NADPOD. If I could use my motion controls, maybe I would consider using Spark longer, but I can't. I will always choose cutter over sword. And that's why. But I would love, there have been some really good podcast moments. I don't know anyone who, if anyone listening to this has played D&D and also watches like actual play shows, but there are some moments in campaigns that just feel like they were made. Like, it just is a shame that I wasn't recording when it happened. You know what I mean? It's a lot of moments like that. Whoa. Whoa! There was the first moment like that ever in one of my campaigns that I ran was one of my players was a fighter, and they had agreed to playtest a homebrew subclass I had created, which was very kind of them. And this subclass had some associated lore that the people who invented this like fighting style were like these mountain folk who used to amputate their legs and get magical prosthetics that let them like jump super high and like leap across the mountain ranges. And I asked my player, hey, around when level 3 hits and you're going to take this subclass, how do you feel about your character losing her legs? And they said, okay. So I cut my player's character's legs off. And it was a good scene because, like, their NPC friend is being arrested. Well, no, they're being arrested and hiding out at their NPC friend's house in the cellar. And this way, like, stronger than they are knight is, like, trapping them in the cellar. Like, he's standing at the stairs, preventing them from leaving. And the party, not a TKO, but, you know, one of them is down, the other is at, like, 5 hit points, and it's not looking good. What a good fake out this is, by the way. Like, Kirby games are usually pretty short, so I bet a lot of people were like, damn, I guess this is about to be the end of it. That's what I thought when I was 7 years old. Oh, I missed. I'm not getting close enough. Oh. There we go. So I cut this character's legs off and forget that earlier in the campaign, I gave this player what I was calling a bottled rage, which was essentially a potion that gave them one use of a barbarian rage. The idea of a boss being a stronger version of an enemy is usually kind of lame for me, but the idea of a boss being a stronger version of a thematically significant recurring mini-boss is extremely cool, especially this bit. Can't hurt it yet. Hey bud, I need you to be your own downfall and summon a super enemy. There we go. What a cool moment this is. Like, this is what convinces people that this is the final boss. Is cool shit, you know? But so this player has just had her legs chopped off and amputated, and that was kind of where I expected the scene to end, is with her having her legs chopped off and everyone goes unconscious so they can be transported to a prison for a breakout, right? That's not what happened, though. Instead, this fighter, on the ground and legless, favorite Lord of the Rings character, takes the bottled rage and drinks it and does and gets a crit on this knight, and they still go down and they still are taken to this carriage and being transported to the prison. But the session ends on this character whose whole thing up to this point has been naivety, being from fantasy Appalachia and just not being super aware of how this fantasy big city works. And then suddenly seeing all this corruption, being hunted by royal knights for helping people who were fighting the corrupt government and all this stuff, is pissed. She's had her legs chopped off just because she tried to leave home and go on a coming of age journey. And so she takes this bottled rage, crawls across the ground, and fucking stabs this knight in the ribs. It was a fantastic moment. Alright, Magalore. We're one step closer to Betrayer. Betribla. You're my hero. Let's go to Halcondra. Let's go to Halcondra. Let's go to Halcondra. It's pretty far away. But yeah, there's been other moments like that, but that'll always be off the top of my head my favorite of them, because it was my first campaign. I really wasn't expecting it, and it was just... I was running Lost Mines of Phandelver, and it had gone super off the rails. So I was kind of worried that I didn't know what I was doing. And then that moment happened, and I was like, actually, I think this is pretty good. I think we're doing good. I have a lot of ideas for other campaigns. I want to do a fantasy Chernobyl, although I'm waiting because I have a friend who is currently working 60 hours a week doing God knows what. So I'm waiting for them to be available because I really want to do the campaign with them and a few other people. So I'm trying to think of mini campaigns to do in the meantime. I've been thinking about an Underdark one. I've been thinking about using the Unearthed Arcana Modern Magic thing and running a Magical Girl campaign. Could be fun. I don't know yet. Landia, a really cool design, is 4 dragon heads, and I like it. Magalore, sad. Don't worry, new friend. We'll go fight that dragon for you, and then you can steal the crown. It is interesting that this Kirby game has a midpoint plot beats and stuff, because usually Kirby games, until the very last world, and usually the last level of the last world, don't have plot beyond the beginning. So this game having a little bit of plot before the last chapter is very cool. I don't always mind all the cool plot being at the end, because it still can lead to very cool stuff. I really love the end game of Triple Deluxe and Tyranza realizing that Sectonia is truly too far gone and all that. Oh, all that jazz. I think it's good. I like the ending of Star Allies. I think it's the only exceptional part of that game. The Highness fight is very cool. The ending of Robobot has some cool I do think the ending of Robobot feels kind of unearned to me. It's the only Kirby game where we haven't even seen we see Susie, but we haven't seen Holtman. I guess Sectonia also kind of comes out of nowhere, doesn't she? And there it is. My microphone got unplugged. I just bought a new one that doesn't get unplugged in that way, so that should be good. I don't know at what point I realized the mic is unplugged and plug it back in, but I don't remember what I was talking about. I have thought about the statement about not seeing Kirby villains, and I feel like there's like so many Kirby villains who are a silly little trick. We got Magalore, we got Marks, but there's a lot where it's like, generally, unless there's an actually interesting twist, I think not seeing the villain until the last second is like a bad move. Like Dark Nebula from Squeak Squad. That's a lame dude. But, you know, like with the Dark Matter games, like you see Dark Matter at the very beginning. Adventure, it's cool to see Nightmare because you think it's Dedede the whole time. And it's like the early 90s. So, or maybe late. I don't know when Kirby's Adventure came out, but at the time, in a silly little platformer, that's a pretty cool twist. But in Robobot specifically, I wish that we had seen more of Haltman and honestly more of Susie. Triple Deluxe, Taranza is showing up before every boss, like either mind controlling them or irritating them to make them want to fight you. That's fun. That's a good way to keep a villain interesting, even when he's not the main one. Would I have liked to have seen Sectonia at some point? Yeah, I would have. But you can't always get what you want. A band said that one time. Don't remember who. I fully forget right then that there is a little like splash attack that you can do, and wow, watching this while remembering that move exists is embarrassing. At some point, I started talking about difficulty in video games and like Fire Emblem. I remember that because I've been replaying. I'm currently, I'm recording this, not when I recorded this initially. I'm replaying Binding Blade and having a really good time because I just finished all of the campaigns in 3 houses on hard difficulty with permadeath off, and it was fun, but it was still too easy. I don't know. I really like the difficulty in like Triangle Strategy, a game that does not have permadeath at all, but I still consistently found myself needing to retry stages because I lost everyone. And it's like, that is the kind of difficulty I want. But I also don't want to have to go onto the maddening difficulty to get that. That, I feel like once you choose the difficulty setting called maddening, you're just kind of no holds barred, I'll take anything. And I don't want it to be like unfair levels of difficulty. One thing I have noticed is that like Binding Blade, the enemy AI is really good. And I don't feel that way about 3 houses. Like, there was a chapter where I had a promoted axe guy. I think he was like a berserker. And he had a halberd, which hasn't shown up in modern Fire Emblem games, but it's an axe that's strong against cavalry units. And wow, I'm not good at this game. But so this promoted unit, and like at the halfway point through the game, promoted units are super strong, was at the back because reinforcements had shown up, and it was like 8 cavaliers. It was like 7 cavaliers and a general, which is a lot of bad guys. Wow. the time loss. But he just stood in the back, got occasionally healed with physic from afar, and he took out all of them. It was amazing to watch the enemy turn where they, one by one, attacked and then were immediately killed by this guy. It just was magical to watch. And then the only thing left were these two troubadours, mounted healers, who didn't, they physically can't attack, but they positioned themselves on either side of my berserker in such a way that because of the narrow map design, he became trapped and he couldn't move forward and catch up with the rest of the party. And then the next turn, more reinforcements showed up. And it was 8 more horse people who all, one at a time, died to my berserker. So, it wasn't super difficult, but the fact that these non-attacking units, with pretty high, evasion, I was having some trouble hitting them, were able to single-handedly cut off this unit from everyone else. And if I hadn't been wise enough to put a promoted axe wielder, probably one of my stronger units to fight all those guys, I would have for sure lost a unit if I were lucky enough to deal with one wave of reinforcements and the second wave shows up and I can't get back. It's really interesting. A lot of Three Houses maps don't have reinforcements at all. It was very interesting. I really like the map design, and I really like the AI of the Game Boy Advance games. They have more stage hazards too, I've noticed. Three Houses occasionally had tiles that hurt you if you stood on them, but that was kind of it. While Binding Blade, which is the first of the Game Boy Advance ones, they only get better in my opinion, has geysers in caves that blast hot steam, and lava panels where if you're standing on them on certain turns, a fire geyser will show up and deal damage, but not every turn. And just all these different kinds of unique, and that's a fail. Yeah, I knew that was going to happen. All these kinds of unique map design elements. There's although one thing, finish without losing multiple units. There I am. At that point, I just need to start over. And there I go. Yeah, I don't play. If I lose more than one unit, I won't play, especially if one of them is good. It's been taking a lot of adjustment for the fact that pirates, I don't know if pirates can move over water in Binding Blade. I have a pirate. His name is Geese, which is an extremely funny name. And he's pretty good. But the last stage that I used him on, he couldn't walk on water. And that's the thing that makes pirates interesting. That's another thing. Sure, Binding Blade, there's no promotion options. You promote someone and they instantly become a different thing. And there's not 4 stages of classes, You don't go from a commoner to a mage to a warlock to a grimoire or whatever. You just go from a mage to a sage. But there's still more variety. There's at least 2 versions of each archetype. So, there's not just a generic sword wielder class. There's mercenaries and myrmidons, cavaliers and knights, fighters and pirates, archers and nomads, clerics and troubadours, mages and shamans. There's variety, and there's Pegasus Knights and Wyvern Knights. Every archetype has multiple starting points, and I think that makes things like, I don't know, man. I like it. And then Sacred Stones is even better because all of what I've just said is true. And then you have options where when you promote, you get to choose two like paths from there. And I think that is better than like the quote unquote full customization offered in Three Houses. Three Houses, like if you have played Claude's route, Hilda is a warrior. Her best skill is axes. She could also kind of be like a heavy armored person. But you get to the end classes and none of them are good for her. I mean, Wyvern is good, but it's the fact that there's gender specific classes. War Master, Hilda can't be a War Master, and it's what she's fucking made for statistically. So I get to the end of the game expecting a War Master for her, and I can't do it. So I could either do like Wyvern Knight, but I already have Sedith and the kid, Cyrus, whatever his name is. I have both of those. They're both Wyvern Masters or Wyvern Lords or whatever. I don't need a third one of them because it's just increasing the chances that archers are going to fuck me over. Or I'll have to just like keep her dismounted the whole time, at which point, why even do it? Why even go do that promotion? So I'm keeping her a berserker or whatever axe wielder thing she is because the class mastery ability is good. But it's frustrating. You know, Lysithea is made to be a dark mage, but that's a male exclusive class. So is Dark Bishop. So I guess, you know, she's the Gremory now. I was going to make her a Dark Knight, but the only person, like Lorenz's only real good option is to be a Dark Knight, because Leonie is built to be a Great Knight. Lorenz isn't great with a lance or great with magic. He's kind of middling in both. And you can't even have a class that uses both until the end game. I don't like the class system of Three Houses. What can I say? I think the customization came at a price. You know, it's a system that wasn't broken. I'm not even talking about Kirby. There's a minute left to this, so I think this is the winning run. Either this is or the next one is. I had thought at some point that my audio permanently came back, but I can see that wasn't the case. But here it is, baby, gold. It took me so long to get that. It took me so long. Alright, I don't think nothing else interesting happens in this video. But so yeah, this is the video where for some reason I talk a lot about Fire Emblem at the end. Thank you for watching. It's funny how often I have audio issues, but I now have a microphone with a stand that won't get unplugged mid-recording, which is nice. So yeah, thank you for watching. Make good choices and treat each other kindly.